Good evening. This is your girl Lynette from DALS Credit Solutions. Today is Tuesday, Credit Tip Tuesday. We want to talk about some things regarding the numbers. It's going to give people a few minutes to come on. This is your girl Lynette from DALS Credit Solutions. How's everybody doing tonight? Let me see. Trying to just wait for some people to log on. We're going to get on tonight and talk about the numbers. A lot of people have questions regarding how to read a credit report as far as numbers. You know, what does the numbers mean? What do I actually benefit from knowing the numbers on your credit report? Today is June 16th, 2020. It is approximately 7:30 in Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time it is everywhere else. I'm sorry. I'm going to get better with that. Hey, Latrice, how are you, babe? Anybody that have this want to click share so others can know this is going to be very beneficial tonight. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. Maybe like a half an hour or something like that. However, I want to give y'all some jewels. A lot of people, they do credit. However, we need to understand the numbers and the reasons why certain things should be removed or not removed due to the 5 components. So I'm going to share this to a couple of groups, and then we're going to get started. Not on my timeline. Hey, Teek, how are you, babe? Seriously, Siri? Sorry about that. Siri went on ahead and responded. Weirdo. Let me see. So I'm going to share this to a couple of groups, and then we're going to get started. Hey, Teek, I'm good. Just trying to, get situated with, so I can get started. Why do I keep sharing this? Okay, so I think I shared this on my timeline like 10 times. Hey, Tika, share this in Black Girls Have Good Credit Too. Put it on your page. Anybody can share this. Black Business Network. I'm trying to share it, but I'm not doing well with it. Again, this is your girl Lynette from DALS Credit Solutions. We're going to talk about the actual credit report. A lot of things people, when you're doing credit restorations, either self or hire, a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of credit, the overall credit report. A lot of people talk about the components, the 5 major components: payment history, credit utilization, credit age, overall credit, and mixed credit. However, the golden numbers will allow you to, when you're doing disputes and things like that, to concentrate on what you actually need to increase your score. Hey, Jasmine, how are you doing, dear? So the first thing I tell people, I speak as if you don't know, and if you do know, that's okay. But anybody that's on this live, take out a pen, piece of paper, and you can jot this type of information down. A lot of my mentees are, on the live, and I'm so grateful and thankful for all of them. But take out a piece of paper, because I want to let y'all see some things mathematically so you guys can know, and try not to lose y'all, while doing this live. So you guys, as y'all getting out y'all pens and papers, let me know where y'all viewing from. I see some of my Alabama people in. I love my Southern folks. They always share the love and support DALS Credit Solutions. So as you guys are getting your pen and paper out, please Dallas, Texas. I hope you're not a Cowboys fan, baby. Because, oh, God, please don't talk to me after August. A Bama in the house. All right, all right. All right, everybody starting to... Please, everybody, share this to any timeline. Black Girls Got Good Credit too. Black Business Network. I'm trying to share as much as possible. But, again, I'm unable to while I'm doing the live. So, the credit components that are the key factors are, you know, payment history, which is 0.35. Credit age, which is 0.30, and I'm saying decimal point because a percentage is transitioned to a decimal when we multiply. We can't multiply a percentage. We have to turn it into an actual decimal. So, again, we know payment history is 0.35. We know credit age is 0.15. Credit utilization is 0.30. And overall credit and mixed credit is 0.10. If we add all those numbers up, we get 100%. And whatever your credit score is 100% of your credit score. But if you take your actual score at FICO, not Credit Karma because it's a different measuring system, but FICO, which is widely used, take your number, whatever your score is. It could be 599, 732, 615, 620, 500, it could be whatever. You take that number and you subtract by the grand number, which is 850. And 850 is the maximum score you can get on your credit report. 850 is the golden number. A lot of people don't want to reach that 850 score. They just want to be, you know, get enough to, you know, get into the home or get into, you know, the place or, you know, start getting credit cards and things like that. I tell everybody to strive for 850. I think 850 is a golden number. And only 1% of the population has an 850 credit score. So subtract your current score minus the golden number, and you're going to get the number that's keeping you from your actual golden number. So for instance, if you have a 615 credit score, you minus that minus 8, you take that away from 850. If you have a 725, you subtract that by 850. Whatever that number is, it doesn't matter what that number is. The method that I'm going to show you will never change regardless of whatever your score is. So if anybody have their, you know, information out, you know, or know their score, you know, subtracted by 850, that number that you get, you multiply that number times 0.35, 0.30, 0.15, 0.10, and 0.10. It doesn't matter what your credit score is. This algorithm that FICO created will never change. What they didn't tell you is the number that can get you to 850. So whatever your number is, you subtract that minus the 850 and you get a number. Again, multiply that number times 0.30, 0.35, 0.15, 0.10, and 0.10. Again, it doesn't matter what your score is. You could be from a 400 to a 799. This method will help you learn how to rebuild, restore, and teach you, not teach you much per se, but have you understand why you don't get credit sweeps, why you don't get unauthorized trade lines, why you don't utilize different activities to build your score. Because when the methods are matched mathematically, there's nothing no one can do. This is the way you build your score. This is the way you build your credit. When you learn to understand the numbers, you'll learn how to eliminate debt. Again, credit sweeps, unauthorized trade lines, unauthorized, you know, any activity on your credit will permit you from getting to that golden score. Again, credit restoration is not a microwavable process. It's an oven baking experience. So when you get this number and you add the points that you get for the number, once you multiply the 0.35, 0.30, 0.15, 0.10, and 0.10, doesn't matter what your score is. That number is going to come out to the number that's keeping you from the 850 credit score. Only way you're going to be able to do it. Doesn't matter what your score is. So if anybody did that, the numbers that you got are the points that you are able to retrieve while building your reports. This is the number one step on learning how to read your credit reports. So anybody out there want to, tell me what numbers they got? They can jot it down. Any brave people out there? And again, this is not to put anyone on blast. This is all educational, so you guys can understand the methods. For those that can't afford credit restoration, these are methods to start you to build your process and building your score. So I have some people on. So 122.5. My child says she's too slow to keep up. So the 122.5. I have one client that's one person saying they're 113 points from an 850. Sheesh, she rocking and rolling. So 113 points is keeping her from the 850 credit score. So I have someone that gave their numbers. 105 points is payment history. 52.5 is credit utilization. 35 is mixed credit and overall credit. What is your actual credit age? Because I think that's the one that's missing. Yeah, you got payment history, credit utilization, overall credit, and mixed credit. So you're missing one more. So once you get those 5 numbers up, it doesn't matter what your score is, it's going to equal the score that's keeping you away from the 850. Once you learn that method and know that method, now you will learn how to understand payment history, credit age, credit utilization, overall credit, and mixed credit. Hey, Miss Lawson. So once you guys figure out those numbers, when people say and the credit age was 52. Okay, credit history. Okay. So when you have all 5 of your numbers written down, whoever participated with this, you will see the number you got is the number that's keeping you from the credit score. I mean, your 850 credit score. So I have 30, 39, 33, 16. Oh, nice. So another person participated, and the numbers that are given are the points that you need to get you to the 850 score. So the one person put down, hey, Shamika, 39.5, 33.9, 16, 11. Excellent. So I will go based off of one of the young ladies that's within the group that's participating now. So 39.5% is the payment history, which will allow her to get a lot those points to increase her credit score. 33.9 is the credit utilization. 16 is the credit age. Overall credit and mixed credit is 11. So when you're looking at your reports, the only one that will give you a lot of disaster in destroying your credit, period, is credit cards. Credit cards hold all 5 components. They hold payment history, credit utilization, credit age, overall credit, and mixed credit. That's why when people have compromised credit scores, 9 times out of 10 is either if they don't have enough credit card utilizations or they have too much and they destroyed it with late payments. If you destroy your credit cards, you literally can destroy your entire credit report because the credit cards hold all 5 components. Everybody says payment history is the monster. They are. But, however, the credit utilization, she's the woman of the house. Payment history, credit age, mixed credit, and overall credit are the kings of the court. But if the queen don't turn her neck, things don't work well. So if you mess up your credit cards, you destroy literally your entire credit report. That's why you see people declining scores. That's why when you have one late payment on your credit card, you can literally drop 30 to 40 points. It's so important. Or if you don't have enough credit cards or enough utilization, you can destroy your actual credit report. Credit restoration is not just about eliminating. You have to understand the numbers. So again, credit utilization might be the second most important when it comes to FICO algorithms and scoring systems. But if you destroy your credit utilization, you can destroy your whole credit report. You can go from the 700s to the 500s easy with late payments just on your credit cards because they hold all 5 components. Very important. Or if you don't have enough credit cards, you won't be able to reach that 700-800 peak because you need credit utilization to build your credit score. A lot of people don't like credit cards. I tell people all the time, you must have a utilization, anything revolving, to increase your credit score. If you feel as though you don't want to revolve your credits, you have to revolve your credits. If you have 3 cards, 5 cards, 10 cards, revolve all your credit cards. I tell people, put, you know, if you got Netflix, Hulu, any type of subscriptions, gyms, cell phone bills, anything of that nature, put on your credit cards. Because if you don't, and you leave your credit cards lying dormant, meaning not using them, your score will plunge. Your score will plunge. The utilization that I recommend to my clients, this is before the pandemic, is between 2 and 9%. Because with credit utilization being at a 0.30%, you want to always get that 30% within that calculation. So you want 30%, you want the 35, you want the 15, you want 10 and 10. However, if you don't revolve your credit cards, you will destroy your credit score. If you do not have enough credit utilization, you will destroy your credit. You will not reach the peak that you need. A lot of people don't like credit cards. Again, I understand, because when you don't like credit cards, you don't understand money. When you feel as though credit cards is used as a swiping tool to get whatever you want, no, it's actually emergency funds or if you need it. But always stay within the utilization 2 to 9%. If you need to go over during the pandemic, go over. But always look at your budget and look at your money and say, okay, I'm utilizing this at this percentage. Another thing people don't understand when it comes to credit utilization, your oldest card determines the whole overall of percentage. So if you have 5 cards and they range from, 2001 to 2020, if your highest utilization is on your oldest card, it's going to be the one that gives you the overall utilization. So if you got a Capital One or a Credit One or a Discover and it was open 10 years ago and you're at a 90% utilization and your score plunge, you have to look at your older cards because they carry the most weight because of credit age. The age is 10%. So let me say it again. If credit utilization is revolving and your oldest card, the one you got first, while building your credit, is at a high utilization, it will plunge your score because you're using too much of it. Again, credit age. The longer you have any type of installment debt or any type of credit or anything that's on your credit that's older, it's going to be the biggest impact on your credit, overall credit report. So if you have a credit card that's old, you're using it and it's at 89, 90%, and your score plunge because you're using too much of that credit card. The newer ones are the ones you want to take advantage of. The oldest ones you want to always utilize and use as well, but make sure you keep them at a lower utilization, because when FICO calculates your scores, guess what? It's always on the older ones first. You must understand credit overall and its reporting when it comes to the numbers, because it's always about the numbers. Always about the numbers. The next thing I want to talk about, I know we talked about payment history and credit utilization, credit age. When you're building your credit, people are afraid to get new cards because you're going to lose points. You have to lose to gain. So if you open a new Discover or any type of new credit card, yeah, you might lose 10, 15 points. But as you're revolving, you're going to gain like 30, 40 points. So again, don't be afraid of opening new installment loans or new credit cards, because these are the key factors that get you from the 6s to the 7s, the 7s to the 8s. It's so, so important. Overall credit and mixed credit. Mixed credit is everything in one. And overall is the actual scoring. A lot of people like to get rid of inquiries. I preach about this a whole lot. Please, please, please do not ever remove an inquiry associated with a positive account. If you do, you will eliminate the entire account. That's when you'll see your fraud alerts on your credit report, and then you'll see there's no growth in your credit score because you removed all of the inquiries. Inquiries are to be removed last in my book, because when you're restoring credit, inquiries is nothing but 0.10%. Yes, 10% can be 50, 60 points, but if you remove an inquiry associated with a positive account, you not only remove the inquiry and place the fraud alert on your account, you remove that whole positive trade line. So if it doesn't matter if you're getting increases on the credit cards, it doesn't matter if you're paying it on time, FICO will never calculate it because it's looked as if it's fraud. So when you see people, like a lot of times I see people that have $30,000 and $40,000 credit limits, but only are able to get lower level credit cards. And the first thing I ask is, where's the inquiry? Oh, I had that removed when I went to someone else. Well, they removed the entire trade line. So now you have to start over and rebuild, and your nice $30,000, $40,000 credit limit that you have on there that's reporting nicely is no longer being calculated by FICO. So always watch your steps when building your credit report. Your actual credit and credit score. Know how to read your reports. When you have people that actually do all these credit sweeps, they're doing more harm than good. When you have people want to add you to their trade line or put you on their accounts to boost your score, make sure you look at your debt to income ratio. Because even if it's good debt or bad debt, if you have late payments, even in open and closed accounts, it won't benefit you at all. So be mindful of those things. I have a question saying, what are freezes? Freezes are anything that will allow you to not be able to obtain any type of increases and decreases. Increases in actual, credit utilization. A lot of times, if you do well by a company, you don't have to ask for an increase. You will get that invite, or you'll get something in the mail or email saying, "Oh, you've been increased $5,000, $6,000 or $500, $600." But if you have a freeze on your report, you won't have that. I failed to freeze my report during the time that I wanted this Chase Sapphire. I was denied on the personal side because of the 5 to 24 rule. If you get increases, voluntary or involuntary, Chase will deny you. So you cannot apply for 5 accounts in a 24-month period with Chase. It's an automatic denial. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your credit score is. Do anybody have any questions so far? Okay, what are your questions? I'm so grateful my grandson is quiet. Let's see. All right, anybody have any questions? Nish, what are your questions, dear? What is a positive account? A positive account is any account that you're paying on time. Any type of account. It could be a credit card. It could be a car payment. It can be anything. As long as you're paying it on time, it's a positive account. When I say the word trade line is the same thing as an account. In the credit world, we call it trade line. But in the world of everybody else, it's just nothing but an account showing on your credit report. That's all it is. Everything is a trade line. However, but in the world of, everybody, it's just nothing but an account on your credit report. It doesn't matter if it's Citibank, a car loan, self-lender. They're all accounts on your credit report. Same thing as a trade line. Any other questions? Do anybody have any questions on what I discussed earlier about far as payment history? Is it safe to add your children as an authorized user under the age of 16? Yes. If they don't have credit established, good question, Sean. If they don't have credit established, add your kids to your accounts as an authorized user. However, just make sure you're going to pay the bills on time, because if not, you will destroy your child's credit, and there will be nothing they can do about it as far as disputing process, because you added them as an authorized user, and they're your children. I have exceptional payment on your credit report. What can I do to gain points in that area? If you have exceptional payment history, you're lacking 33 or 34 points. Look at your closed accounts, or look at increasing your credit limits. A lot of times when you have people that are over in the 700s, pushing the 800s, the only thing that's stopping you is building your actual credit utilization, your credit limits. So, for instance, if you are like in the 740s and you have a credit limits totaling like maybe $3,000, you're going to need a little more, or even a lot more, to build that 800 score, because the more you revolve on time, the more your scores will increase. You don't want to stay stagnant on that level, so you have to increase your utilization. If you have excellent payment history, and you have areas as far as your utilizations or your limits aren't strong enough to push you at that 800 credit score, you have to revolve your credit more. You have to get those credit limits to increase. That's what's going to put you at that 800, 700 score. Are secured cards equal to a regular credit card? Yes, they report the same. The only thing, the difference between regular secured credit cards and actual unsecured credit cards, meaning the creditor gives you the credit and you don't have to put nothing down. With secure, you have to make the initial deposit. A lot of people go for the initial deposit to build your credit worthiness, to show the creditor that you're worthy enough to get that unsecured card. So if someone says, I can't approve you now for an unsecured card, but you can get a secure card, go for the secure card. They put $500 down or $250 down, however the case may be. Then build your credit. Show your credit worthiness. Stay between the 2 and 9%. Then the unsecured will become, the secure will become unsecure. So yes, get a secure card. There's nothing wrong with secure cards. You can pay someone to fix your credit if your score is low. Whoever you hire, it doesn't matter. There are many people out there, and it's also a group called Black Girls Have Good Credit Too that you can join and ask your questions for free if you can't afford credit restoration. Ensure the person that do your actual credit reporting or doing the restoration, sit down and make sure they explain the numbers to you. Because again, someone can wipe out everything on your credit, but it's not going to benefit you if you don't understand money. It's not going to benefit you if you don't understand how to utilize your credit cards. It's not going to benefit you at all to have you be able to grow and maintain exceptional credit when you get to that point. So yes, you have different options. Again, if you can't afford credit utilization, please join Black Girls Have Good Credit Too. The admin's also on. She's putting the link up. Ask your questions there. It's absolutely free. It's a lot of us in there that are knowledgeable, and we can answer the questions and put you in the right direction. So just make sure you do your homework before you hire anybody. Would you suggest me getting a $5 secure card through BBVA? What's your opinion about that? It's a card that isn't necessarily a card, but it is used to build your credit. Get a credit card through I would do it. Again, secure cards are very beneficial. It's nothing more than transfer of risk. So if the bank says, or the creditor says, I need you to put down $500 and we'll give you a card, they're doing nothing but holding the card to see how you utilize it. So if you fail to pay on that account, you know, and you try to get the late payments off, that's just nothing more than a self-lender. You know, you pay yourself to build yourself. But if you're late, you can't dispute it because you did it yourself. That's called transfer of risk to you. However, if you show your credit worthiness and do good credit utilization, the creditor will then extend an unsecured line of credit to you, and then you revolve it, and then you have chance for your limits to grow to increase your score. So again, an unsecured card is when the creditor extend lines of credit to you and you can increase your limits to build your score. The same with the difference is secure is you have to put the actual amount down that you want to build, you know, help build your credit, and you revolve that, and you don't have chances for increases. That's the only difference. When you do secure, you don't have chances for an increase. You do unsecured, you have chances for an increase. Let me see. Speak on velocity banking. Sean, I would have to look that up. I heard about it a little bit. However, I will have to look more into it. I will have to inbox you. I have some feedback on it, but not a lot. You're welcome, Miss Amber. Pay yourself to build yourself. Yes, Sean, I firmly believe in that. I just spoke on it. Pay yourself to build yourself. Pay yourself first to build yourself. If banks don't extend that line of credit, offer the secure line, please. You will learn to do that in order to increase your score, and then they will give you the money back that you put down, and then you build your credit worthiness, and they will extend lines of credit to you. Yes, Sean, I heard about that earlier. I have to look more into it. So I'm gonna do some research, and I'm gonna get back with you. Because one thing about me, if I don't know it, that's something I would say, hey, inbox me, let me look more into it, and I will give you feedback. I don't believe in acting as if I know it, and I really don't. This is something that's definitely new to me. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? You're welcome, Miss Tatum. Any questions about any more insight on your credit reports on how to, you know, get started looking at the numbers, you know, revolving your credit cards, anything. What's some ways to pick the right card? That's a good question. I don't care for actual merchant cards, because merchant cards, you have to spend money with that actual merchant every month. A lot of people during the holidays will go out and apply for all these cards, you know, from different department stores, and then they won't use them till next year. So when they use them next year, they're like, oh my God, I lost 40, 50 points because you allowed the cards to not be utilized. They call it lying dormant. So if you let your cards lie dormant and not utilize them, when you first use them again after a 5-6 month period, it will shock your credit. Meaning, where did this come from? FICO was saying, well, when did you have this account? Because you allowed it to not, you didn't utilize it. So again, if you don't revolve your credit, you do not gain the points that you need to build your credit. So I don't recommend merchant cards unless you're someone that goes to that store. My child is a big Target fan. I don't like Target. I'm never going to get a Target card. But if it's stores like that and you're in it all the time, these are the type of cards you will use because you can constantly revolve your credit. So important. So merchant cards are something I don't like, but if you have to use it, if you want to use it and you're active in there, use it. The right cards to me are your starter cards, Discover, Bank of America, Credit One, Capital One, or, you know, some type of, you know, what do you call that? Credit union card. They offer you an actual card through the bank. A lot of people don't like Credit One. I'm going to tell you why you should like Credit One. Credit One, even though it has an annual fee of $79 or $99. And, you know, it's a 26% APR. If you notice, Credit One is an invite only. Credit One is the baby company to Amex, American Express. Be good to Credit One, because Credit One can get you in the door with Amex. That's how I got in the door with Amex. Revolve your Credit Ones. If you notice, Credit One, again, is invite only. You can't just go on Credit One page and just apply for a credit. You can, but, you know, if you don't get the invite, likely you're not going to get approved. If you get the invite, accept the offer, because, again, it's the baby company to Amex. Yes, a lot of people don't know that. Credit One is the baby company to American Express. American Express give out 6-figure credit limits. You must take a Credit One. If you're invited, accept it. Yes, it's 26%. Yes, it's, you know, high, and, you know, far as $79 a year. Again, Amex. Amex is a, you know, a good card to have. Another thing, a lot of people, you know, ask me about business credit in here. Business credit also builds, can also build you. Yes, it's definitely worth it. Also allow you to build your personal and business credit. Business credit, if you have a business, build your business and personal credit together, because it's easier to build business credit. It's harder to rebuild personal credit, because it's a lot of laws associated with the business credit that are not as strenuous as personal credit. So for me, and I'll give you an example. When I first started my business, I was in the late 600s. So when I start building my business credit, which was a lot easier, the cards that I got on the business side, I added it as a personal guarantor to my personal side to boost my score. A lot of people don't know that you can do it simultaneously. So if you're building your personal credit and you feel as though you're stuck, but you have a business, it's easier to build business credit. You can add all of the business credit cards to your personal side to increase your score. Because again, the more you revolve, the more you utilize, the more your score increase. So if you're having issues with that, my company do business credit as well. Schedule a consultation. We can definitely go more into it. Okay. Do anybody have any other questions? So once you pay off a card, should you leave it over? Please don't close no credit cards. I don't care. I still have a Fingerhut card, guys. And I still use it to this day. Yeah, I still have a Fingerhut card. I use it to this day. And I have a nice score. Don't close no cards. Don't close no Credit Ones, Capital Ones, Discovers, Bank of Americas. Any cards you get, do not close them. Never close it. If you pay it off, keep it revolving. It helps increase your score. It helps with that 0.30% within your score to build your score. So don't close no credit cards. Just keep using it. Let me see. I don't think Credit One does business credit. I know Capital One, Chase, Bank of America. Who are other ones? Lowe's, Home Depot. I know Capital One is Spark. Chase is Sapphire for business. American Express is the Blue Cash card. Yes, I love that card. These are the cards. I don't think Credit One does business. I've never seen a Credit One do business. American Express Blue Cash card does business credit, business credit cards. So Capital One is the lower level. So it's Amex that does business. What is a good number to get credit cards to start with? I've seen people get credit cards that I've experienced and built them in the 540s, 550s. They get credit cards to start their one. Capital One Quicksilver. I think start you off like a 560, 570, and they give you a $300 limit. I think Credit One, if they offer you an invite, I think it's like at 580, 590. They offer, lower level, limits like 300. There's nothing wrong starting off with a $300 limit. Nothing wrong with it. Anybody familiar with Navy Federal? Navy Federal is a good bank. They throw money at people. Navy Federal, they start you off with a $300 credit card or a $1,000 credit card. Go for it, because Navy Federal is also a good bank. USAA is a good bank. Any type of credit union is a good bank. For business also. So these are PenFed, the Pentagon. A lot of people don't utilize the Pentagon. So, these are cards you should always use for business and personal. What is the best way to rebuild after bankruptcy? Again, your Capital Ones, your Credit Ones, your Discover It's. A lot of people think there's not life after bankruptcy. It actually is. If you do right by your credit, there's life after bankruptcy. If you're in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, please don't ever call me. But if you're in a 7, it's life after a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So I will start with your Capital Ones. Go to creditcards.com and do a lot of pre-approvals. They let them do soft pulls. Creditcards.com. You can put in your last 4, all your information. Again, your last 4, your social security number. And they will tell you a list of cards that you qualify for. Once they say you're qualified, go to that site and then start applying. Yes, you're going to get some inquiries. You're going to get some dings on your credit. However, you're going to build your credit. You want life after bankruptcy so you don't have to file bankruptcy again. Yeah, there's definitely a good life after bankruptcy. I've built many people credit after bankruptcy without removing the bankruptcy. A lot of people, and I'm going to touch on that, speaking of that, and thanks for raising that question. A lot of people want to get the actual bankruptcy removed off their credit. I've witnessed people remove a bankruptcy, and it has 5 and 10 years on it, and they lose 60, 70 points because you bothered their credit age. If you don't go after your bankruptcy within the first 2 years to get it off your credit, leave it alone, because it's helping you, to be honest with you. You still can buy a home after bankruptcy. You still can purchase a car after bankruptcy. Let the credit age build itself. If you remove a bankruptcy with credit age on it, meaning you had it for 5, 6, 7 years, you're going to plunge in score. I've witnessed it. I've seen it. And I tell people, if you have a bankruptcy after 5, 6 years old, don't remove the bankruptcy. It's not going to hurt your credit. It's actually helping it. You can still get credit cards after bankruptcy. When you want to go after the Amexes and things like that, then either remove the bankruptcy or hire someone. But you can wait for the Amexes and let the bankruptcy itself fall off the credit after a 7 to 10 year period. So again, learning to read your reports and things like that and understand the numbers will allow you to build your score in a way that you will do less harm and do more good. So it's always about the numbers. Anybody have any questions regarding their actual credit report or anything on their credit? Any other questions? Okay, I want to tell everybody thank you for joining me tonight on, Credit Tip Tuesday. I hope this helped any and everybody. Again, if you want to schedule a consultation, please feel free to, go to my page, DALS Credit Solutions, book a consultation. If you want to build your business, I also build businesses along with business credit as well. I also have a mentoring program. Many of my girls that are on tonight, God bless you and thank you. I have a mentoring program that's very successful that will educate you on the laws of credit and how to dispute and why standard letters are not acceptable, and teach you how to construct your own letters. And also build your business trying to, help people in this industry. If anybody doesn't have any questions, I love y'all. Thank you all. You're welcome. Hey, Miss Kimberly. Hey, Tika. Hey, babes. This is your girl signing off. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful night. Take care.